of Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Duta BPJS Kesehatan all over in Indonesia. Welcome everyone to the second semi-final match of Initiative National Debate Competition INDC 2023. It's good to see you all here again. Okay, today we will witness an exciting match between Papi's Angels versus Catwoman. Remember, the winner of today's match will proceed to the grand final next week. So may all the odds be ever in your favor. Okay. To all audience, the chat box is all yours. Everyone is open to give your support and cheers to your favorite team. Uh, for Catwoman or Peggy's Angels. Okay? It's a safe space, so please keep it positive and be kind. Yeah, some of you might remember me from the opening INDC 2023. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself again here. I am Nur Shaida. You can call me Shaida from Corporate University BPJS Kesehatan. I will be your moderator for today and lead this session until the end. And here we have two teams have joined. Allow me to introduce them to all participants. First team is Pepis Angel as the affirmative house. We have Miss Rika Permatasari as the first speaker. Please could you open your mic, Miss Rika?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, thank you, Miss Rika. And next, we have Miss Jihan Kairia as the second speaker. Could you open your mic, Miss Jihan?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, hello, thank you. And then we have Miss Fadila Athayalani as the third speaker. Could you open your mic, please?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, okay, thank you. Maybe Baby's Angels wants to say word to Catwoman or wants to sing your yell yell as a motivation, please. Maybe from Miss Rika wants to say word or say your yell yell for motivation. Okay.
Yes, we have a one word that Papi's angel is sesuito.
Okay, maybe you could say together. 3, 2, 1.
Papi's
Papi's
angel
Angel,
sesuito.
Whoa. Okay, thank you. And we also with Mr. Ridwan Shah as their honorable counselor. Hello, Mr. Ridwan Shah. How are you?
Hello, fine.
Hello. How are you, Mr. Ridwan Shah?
Okay.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Irwansha, for the response. Okay, we are moving to the opposite house, which is Catwoman. Okay, we have Miss Duhita Ganesh as first speaker. Could you open your mic, Miss Duhita?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Miss Duhita, thank you. And we have Miss Mitsalina Maulida as the second speaker. Could you open your mic, Miss Maulida?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Wow, your smile so good. Okay, maybe yeah, and we have the third speaker, Miss Alfira. Maybe you could open your mic also, Miss Alfira.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, thank you. Yes, before maybe Catwoman wants to say word to Papi's angels or wants to sing your yell as a motivation. Okay, please.
1, 2, 3. Catwoman,
Come back
come back
stronger.
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 Roar.
Roar.
Wow, Catwoman, come back stronger. Okay, thank you. And we're also with Mr. Sasongko Nugroho as their Honorable Counselor. Hello, Mr. Sasongko.
Hello,
How are
good
you?
afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Catwoman, the universe is
Waalaikumsalam.
with you right now.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Sasongko. And then I'd like to introduce our today's incredible adjudicators. We have 5 adjudicators for today's session. First adjudicators, we have Mr. Angga Firdausie. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Maybe do you want to give support for both of groups today, sir?
Well, I wish the best teams wins and can go to the final.
Wow. I wish the best. Okay. Thank you, sir. And next we have second adjudicators. We have Mrs. Ayatullah. How are you, Bu Ayat? Long time no see. Halo, Bu.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, Bu?
Uh, Great, thank you.
Do you want to give support for both of groups today?
First, congratulations on reaching the semifinals of 2023 and INDC. As we can see that these are all women semifinal. And good luck in your endeavors. May you succeed and win yourselves. Thank you very much.
Okay, good luck. Thank you, Miss Ayatullah. And our third adjudicators, we have Mrs. Tati Haryati Dhenawati. How are you, Bu Dena?
Hello, I'm excited.
Wow, really excited. So do you want to give support for both of groups?
Okay, puppies and cat meow. Both of you are great, so we are looking forward for an interesting and exciting debate. Happy debate.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Dena. Okay, next we have Mr. Sarman Palipadang. How are you, Mr. Salman?
Hello. Hi. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to give support for both of groups?
I just want to say congratulations, guys. You made it so far. Top 4 is like so amazing. So keep doing the great job. Thank you. Good luck for
Keep
everyone.
doing the great job. Good luck. Thank you, sir. And last but not least, our adjudicators, we have Mr. Rahmat Hidayat. How are you, Mr. Rahmat?
Hello, I am fine.
Fine,
Hello, everybody.
Alhamdulillah. Do you want to give support for both of groups today?
Okay, first I want to say congratulations for all of you. I hope today you better than last debate, and I hope this debate will be more interesting than the last day.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations from Mr. Rahmat. Okay, thank you once again for joining this session. Before we start, allow me to tell rules for all participants. No participants are allowed to open their microphones before their own turn. Team member must rename themselves with format team name and team name counselor like before debate. Team or their supporters are not allowed to show any sign of each word unit. Each team member join with their own Zoom account, not allowed to join in single account. The operator may do the necessary thing to make sure that this session runs smoothly. Okay, let's start the debate. So our motion for today is this House believes that Indonesia should stop implementing direct voting for presidential election. Speaker, speakers use your time well. So, okay, the first chance of speaking comes to first speaker of affirmative side. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Your time begins once you start speaking. So the time is yours.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. The Honorable Adjudicators, the Negative House, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rika, the first speaker of the Affirmative House. Today, we want to talk about Indonesia should stop implementing direct voting for presidential election. But before we go far, I would like to focus on the context of the reason to consider this issue. We are not going to debate about the current positive law because grammatically Article 6.2 of the 1945 Constitution states that the candidates for president and vice president are directly elected by the people. But let us try to see another perspective or view of the existing system in the order to find a more effective and efficient way to conduct the presidential election. Why do we believe Indonesia must start implementing indirect voting? In accordance with Pancasila Demokrasi, a state in the four percept, kerakyatan yang dipimpin oleh hikmat kebijaksanaan dalam permusyawaratan perwakilan. So, that the form of our democracy is true representative, not directly. We cannot ignore the existence of Pancasila is the basis and ideology of our state. Our founding father, Bung Karno, stated that Pancasila is the philosophiness grand slope, namely the fundamental and established philosophy of an eternally independent Indonesia. In addition, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world after America with a total 277.7 million people. Geographically, Indonesia is the 14th largest country as well as the larger archipelagic country with the 6th largest island in the world and divided again into 38 provinces. Can the direct presidential election system truly represent the voice of the citizen? And is this system more effective and efficient in carrying out the desire of the democracy? According to Robert Dahl, 1992, there is another alternative to democratic government, namely government with a representative system. In a modern country with a large area and population, they have a representative system. Let's look at the third largest population nation in the world, United States, which has several states and adopt a presidential government, which has the same characteristic with us. They use an indirect presidential election system. Why? One of the factors is the geographical shape and distribution of the population, which is not evenly distributed in each region. This is to minimize the tendency for presidential candidates to campaign only in area with the most population, or simply because of their popularity, so they can lose representative from each region itself. A representative system provides the opportunity for each region to be represented fairly. Furthermore, indirect voting can also foster education and awareness by representing the process of decision-making. The people will want to know and understand better who is worthy and capable of being the representative to elect state leaders. Moreover, the fact that latest urgency is the dilemma of the higher cost of democracy result in tendency for inefficiency. By using a representative mechanism, it would reduce a cost and at least encourage efficiency. Also, in the last election period, there have been many extraordinary events that should not happen in Indonesia. Like from Ministry of Health, like 11,000 members voting organization were sick and died. So we are going to just define argument that direct voting mechanism is the system that will continue to be implemented in Indonesia.
Your time is up. Okay. Thank you. First speaker from Affirmative House. Next, the first speaker. But before that, take a time for judges will take a notes. Okay. Next, the first speaker of negative side. Your time begins once you start speaking. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. The time is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable adjudicators. First of all, I want to address that the first speaker of Affirmative House didn't define the motion clearly. Election is the right or power or privilege of making a choice. And direct election is an election in which citizens vote directly instead of having representatives who vote for them. Our nation is a nation of democracy in which the supreme power is in the hands of the people. The Affirmative House didn't explain the real urgency why we have to convert our presidential election from direct to indirect election. Our House absolutely against the motion. We must continue direct presidential election in the name of our democracy and protect the political rights of the people. Our second speaker will explain the benefit of direct election, and I'm going to explain the reasons why we must continue direct presidential election. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia has a long history of presidential election. In 1955 is the first general election and presidential election done indirectly by the MPR. In 1988 and 1999 is the start of revolutionary change in our election system. After the amendment of 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia, the election of president was not conducted by MPR but voted directly by the people. We must remember the reasons why the method of presidential election was changed from indirect to direct election. It's to protect the people's voice, it's to protect the political rights of the people, and to protect, and the most important thing is to get the legitimation from the people. Right now, our nation has 204 million of eligible voters. If we move back to indirect election, it means we took the political rights of 204 million of people. If it happens, imagine what chaos it will be. Direct election also brings prosperity to the people. Stability and politics means stability and economics. We convert back to indirect election, it could create protest, chaos in which bring the instability of political system and could bring instability in economical conditions. In the indirect election, it's also have the risk of deviation of the aspiration of the people. Meanwhile, direct election, people exert their own choices. There's no deviation of the aspiration. Therefore, our House didn't agree with the motion. I think that's all. Thank you.
You have 30 seconds left. Still want to use it?
It's enough.
Okay, thank you for first speaker from Negative House. Adjudicators will take a notes. Then now, second speaker of affirmative team. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, your time begins once you start speaking. The time is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable adjudicators. My name is Johan Kairiah as the second speaker of this team. As the first speaker of this House said, we do not focus on the current constitutionality in Indonesia, but rather on how we look for new perspective to implement a suitable general election system in Indonesia. Referring to the fourth Pancasila precept which has been explained, we must adhere to Pancasila democracy. However, the direct election system currently implemented in Indonesia has many drawbacks, including cost and resources, money politics, election violation, and uninformed decision-making. First, we're gonna talk about cost and resources. Conducting direct voting on a national scale is expensive. It requires substantial financial resource to set up and maintain the necessary infrastructure, train personnel, and educate voters. Allocating such a large budget for direct voting may not be feasible when there are other pressing needs, such as infrastructure development, poverty alleviation, education, and improving health status. The Ministry of Finance has allocated a budget of almost 26 trillion for the 2019 general election. Moreover, KPU stated that the budget requirement for the 2024 election is 76 trillion. Not to mention, based on LPPDK during 2019 general election, the presidential candidate's campaign cost 800 billion. However, in an indirect voting system, we could potentially lead to cost saving in certain aspects, such as reduced campaigning expenses, decentralization of campaign spending, and limited need for ballot production. Second, about money politics. Based on survey by Indonesian Survey Institute in the 2019 election, our final voter list reached around 192 million people. The survey showed that indicates of money politics occur massively and range from 19 to 33%. This percentage means that voters are exposed to the illicit practice of money politics. If we use the highest estimate, 1 in 3 people in Indonesia is an easy target for buying and selling votes. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't forget about election violation. The ideal election is an election whose process is good, qualified, and fair. Since the direct election in 2014 until the simultaneous election in 2019, election violations have often occurred. Based on data from Bawaslu, we found that there is election violation, which is administrative violation, about 16,000 cases, code of ethics violation, about 373 cases, and criminal offenses, about 582 cases. Last but not least, the honorable adjudicators. Is about education and awareness. Direct voting requires an informed electorate. Implementing direct voting without sufficient education and awareness program could lead to uninformed decision-making, where voters may be swayed by popularity or emotional appeals rather than well-informed choices. Indirect voting through representative allow for a more nuanced decision-making process where elected officials can deliberate and make informed decisions on behalf of the constituent. Based on that reason, this House believes that Indonesia should stop implementing direct voting for presidential election. Thank you.
You have 15 seconds left. Still want to use it?
I think it's enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Second speaker from Affirmative House. Okay, we give a few seconds for adjudicators to take a note. Then it's time for second speaker of negative team. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, your time begins once you start speaking. The time is yours.
Okay, well, good afternoon, the honorable adjudicators, ladies and gentlemen, the affirmative teams. I'm second speaker. So the affirmative team said about the indirect election brings the benefit to create a better democracy. We disagree about that because, in fact, over decades by indirect election, Indonesian democracy was hijacked by authoritarianism. According to Muhammad Bahrul Ulum 2019, the indirect election was just ceremonial because it was largely largely manipulated by integralism, a postulate which essentially provides to cement the biggest powers. Citizens do not involved at all, so it doesn't show a healthy democracy. According to the Lindgren 2017, in a healthy democratic climate, citizens have to inherent and strong political rights, and it's already accommodated in Indonesia. We have 1945 Constitution, Pancasila, and election law. And the most important thing is, according to the court 15 June 2023, a proportional election system with an open list and direct election is the closest election system desired by the 1945 Constitution. So we do believe that indirect election is not a democratic system decided by our Constitution. And then you talk about the money politics. So is it true that indirect election can eliminate the money politics? We don't think so. According to Kurnia Ramadana 2023, stated returning indirect election will only move the location of money politics, not eliminate it. The location is changed from the candidate-voter interaction to the candidate political party interaction. And then in Indonesia, money politics was already mitigated by the law number 8 of 2012 and law number 42 of 2008. So this rule emphasized regarding the source of the funds, mechanism for recording, auditing, and Bawaslu also prevent the money politics with election law number 7 of 2017. And then the affirmative team said about the Indonesia is a large country, so we applied with indirect election, which is a better solution. We don't think so, because Indonesia needs a leader. Because of the bigger Indonesia needs a leader who can unify more than 70,000 island citizens with hundreds of ethnic groups and languages. We disagree because of that. A leader is needed who is selected by the majority of the people, not just from their party. According to Jürgen Habermas, a good political leader should meet the qualification of quantity of participation and quality of discourse. The number of voters is basically important. As more voters, so the higher legitimacy of a candidate would have. Through this system, the direct election is actually an anticipatory step to minimize the possibility of error of selecting the leaders. And then about the money politics, I mean, the social problem that you talk about, all of us should know that our country has prepared all the things well planned and systematically. So for implementing the next election 2024, the budgeting itself already include with increasing of budget for protection for election organizer. So our country has also mitigated all the social potential problem through the increasing budget of this election too. That's why we believe that Indonesia shouldn't stop implementing direct election. And then we'll emphasize the advantages of direct election, that is economic growth. Since 1998, after dictatorship era, this country has cut its poverty rate in half, and its per capita gross domestic product now exceeds for about $3,500. So it has also made steady progress toward becoming a full and functioning democracy. So in connection with the election, so according to the data, the direct election make our economy grow in a good way. And quoting Abraham Lincoln, that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So it's important to us for keep stay on direct election and to harmonize our ideology, our democracy, and our people. And then for the mitigation, for the increasing the understanding of the election, Bawaslu also have electoral vulnerability index and have a community participatory supervision center. And then Bawaslu is preparing indicators for mapping the 2024. I'm the second speaker. Thank you.
Your time's up. Okay. Thank you. Second speaker from negative host. Okay, we give a few seconds for adjudicators to take a note. Next, third speaker of affirmative team. Your time begins once you start speaking. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, the time is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, the Honorable Adjudicator, the Negative House, ladies and gentlemen. With all due respect, the Negative House largely emphasized on regulation and on constitutional law. They also stated before that direct voting has a proper mechanism for democratic country, especially for Indonesia. But again, we want to emphasize that we are not focusing on Indonesia's current constitution, but how we are exploring new perspective to introduce a proper universal voting system in Indonesia in hope to get a better system for our future elections. And we believe that indirect voting in no way harms democracy, but instead restore democracy as Pancasila requires it. For example, in the process of making the constitutional law, does it instantly become undemocratic because those who construct it are our representatives and not the people directly, even though their nature is also very important? They also mentioned about abuse of power, legitimacy, voice of the people, and then the democracy decline. Well, I would like to state about the new order or the 1998. They talked about how president have a very long period. Well, before that, we do not have the law or specific regulation that talks about the period of the presidential itself. But now, after the amendment, the limit of presidential period is stated in the constitutional law number 1945, chapter 7. It is clear that they stated again that the president is only can be selected for more than one time, not more than 2 times. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we convey that currently the government is implemented through a mechanism of checks and balances. This was adopted from the theory of trias politica, according to Montes in his book, The Social Basic of Law. And almost all modern countries are currently adopting this theory. So if the Negative House mentioned that the abuse of power that happened through indirect voting, these concerns have been anticipated by the existing system. And also, is there a guarantee too that there is no abuse of power by direct voting? And then they mentioned about candidate competence, democratic decline, and so on. So the MPR and DPD consist of elected representatives with expertise and experience in various fields. They are responsible for selecting the president, taking into account factors such as the candidate's qualification, track record, and ability to govern effectively. So this indirect voting system allows for a more thorough assessment for the candidate's sustainability for the highest office, beyond popular appeal or charisma. The MPR and DPD include members from different regions, backgrounds, and political parties, ensuring that the concerns and interests of minority communities are taken into consideration during the selection of the president. This helps prevent the dominance of majority interest and provide stability and continuity in governance because it allows selection of representatives who can focus on long-term planning and policy making. They mentioned too about the legitimacy of the voice of the citizen, but we found that general selection rate is only 80% in 2019. Do you even know where is the other 20%? It is very big if we consider it, we see the population in Indonesia. So ladies and gentlemen, we highly believe that the indirect voting system is a new great way to be implemented in Indonesia, and we strongly believe that Indonesia should stop implementing direct voting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. For that speaker from Affirmative House, okay, we give a few seconds for adjudicators to take a note. Then now the third speaker of negative team. Your time begins once you start speaking. Are you ready? Okay, the time is yours.
Good evening, honorable adjudicators, ladies and gentlemen. As the third speaker of negative said, I will say that affirmative team said that about direct election cannot representative about democracy. We disagree with this because direct election is a minimum requirement for democracy. Even direct election have been regulated in Article 22, paragraph 1945 Constitution, which explained that direct elections are held indirect, publicly, freely, confidentially, honestly, fairly every 5 years. Direct elections are held to achieve the goals of the state as referred to in the preamble of 1945 Constitution. Indonesia has already held direct presidential election 4 times, starting for the first direct presidential election in 2004 to 2019. Then, in 2024, direct election will be the 5th to be held in Indonesia. Sources from General Election Commission or KPU data say that direct election from 24 to 2019 showed an average participation rate of above 70%. The highest was in 2019 with 81.9%. This shows the high level of public participation in the implementation of the democratic system in Indonesia and hopes for the country progress through direct election. Next, affirmative said about dominant voter millennial. One of the implications of political communication is in election can be seen in the increase in participation. In Indonesia, there has been an increase in the public participation in the general election process in last 10 years, based on Hamunagan, Fauzian, and Arlington 2022. The 2019 election reaches its highest point with participation rate of 81.9%, which voters have dominated by millennial generation. This is also in line with Silvanus Alvin article 2022. Gen Z has a high interest in politics. Overall, this study strengthens the idea in the politician and political party should prioritize Gen Z, not see them as an object of politics, but also as a subject of politics, to be hand in hand, working together to make this nation much better and prosperous. And as affirmative said about lack in political because election violation in Indonesia when implementing direct election. We can avoid that with first, law number 14 of 2008 said that required disclosure of public information because campaign finance reports during direct election are public document that must be published by parties or candidates or General Election Commission or KPU. Second, in General Election Commission law or PKPU number 17 of 2013 said that third-party funders are required to attach a form of personal information to about funding. And third, law number 42 of 2008 clearly explained about source of funds, recording mechanism, finance report, audits, and sanction. If the prevention aspect have been implemented as mentioned above, while acts of lax still implementation of the election, then criminal act must be committed. Then and next, for reminder that the motion is that's why our host don't agree with this motion.
Okay, thank you for the third speaker from Negative House. Okay, we give a few seconds for adjudicators to take a note. Now, we are entering the conclusion part. The first team that delivered their conclusion or replies goes to the negative house and replied by the affirmative house. The negative house, you shall be ready?
Yes.
Okay, your time begins once you start speaking. The time is yours.
Good afternoon, our honorable adjudicators and affirmative house. The affirmative house has emphasized that indirect election is the more effective and efficient way in our election method. And also, it can lead to more democratic environment in our country. But our house absolutely disagree with their states because money politics and high political costs and increased social conflict cannot be used as the reason to return the right to elect the president from people to the House of Representatives. The tendency that occurs from indirect election is a deviation of the aspiration of the people. Right now, the aspiration is in our hands, is in our own hands. Why we have to move backwards from the era before Reformation? That we can, when there's a trust issue from the deviation of aspiration. Second, money politics can happen in every method, and we can guarantee that indirect election is more efficient or free from money politics. And they also state about the cost. Okay, direct election is not expensive. Why? Because our country is rich. We can afford it. Our country has a highly per capita income for $5,000 US. So why, if we can afford that direct election with the hands and voices of the people, to back to indirect election? We can't trade our people participation in politics with money. We can't trade our democracy with money. Our current election system is already running well and effectively. It still needs improvement, but there's no urgent reason to going backwards from this point on. Our evidence shows that direct election gives many benefits to our people and our country. So our House strongly believes that our country must continue direct presidential election. Thank you.
You still have time? Do you want to use it?
It's enough.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we give a few seconds for adjudicators to take notes. Okay, now the affirmative House, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, your time begins once you start speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I emphasize this is not a form of a decline in democracy, but this is another form of democracy. From the explanation of the negative House, we didn't find the right solution for the problem arising from the direct voting system, which is becoming an urgent issue in Indonesia at this time. From what we have explained before, we want to give another perspective and look for the best solution. We believe that the indirect voting system is suitable to be implemented in Indonesia. And there is nothing wrong with us to considering this system rather than just being stuck in a place, seeing how inefficient, ineffective the direct election system is. What must pay attention and consider that in the context of Indonesia, which has a wide geographically and cultural diversity, it is important to maintain a fairness of the representation between the regions. To cover it all, even the government has to spend a very large budget on direct voting, and this raises other problems that are ultimately very vulnerable in the form of the corruption. Even in the several direct voting periods, the validating of each vote is still being questioned. If by indirect voting we are able to save the budget, we can use the budget to other purposes such as education, health, and public safety. Direct voting could lead to more polarized politics and potentially undermine the stability that has been achieved, because people representatives who are elected through a popular vote can have more support from the group they represent, as well as that the risk of the involvement in many politics that could affect the integrity of the electoral process. Democratic mechanism through representative can answer the above problems, such as fulfillment the presidential election that remain democratic, efficient, legitimate, participatory, accountable, communicated, as well as the creation of an effective system of representation and accountability. Indirect election can be carried out each in much shorter time, are much cheaper, do not cost social conflict to get the same or even better president than through direct election. Indirect voting can be done transparently so that people can watch and the process that can be controlled more. And please consider this. We, as the affirmative house, mentioned over and over again about the fraud and the misconduct that happened by direct voting. So are we, as Indonesian, the citizen who hold this highest power in democracy, still and will do nothing about this problem? If there is a way to prevent more fraud from happening to our elections, then why we are not considering it soon? And based on the presidential election that have been held so far, there are problems that occur always that some same and recurring, so that we no longer have reason to maintain this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, affirmative house. Okay, well, the debate session is over. Thank you for both teams. Everyone did well to deliver your opinions and data, and each of you used the time well. Okay, it's time to let our educators have a break room session to discuss this debate session, and we will come back in a few minutes. To the speaker, may you get a toilet break, but remember to stand still until the session is officially done. Thank you.
Halo Papi Angels, keren banget kalian.
Keren Papi Angels. Good
Keren
job
juga
for
Catwoman.
us.
Itu. Catwoman.
Ini pada dress code-an semua juga ya?
Iya, Kak.
Kami semua telah menatapmu. Telah berbagi duka yang agung dalam kepedihan bertahun-tahun. Sebuah sungai di bawah derita Jakarta.
Jangan pergi dari diriku, tak sanggup harus hidup tanpamu. Karena jauh lebih indah bila kita bersama, seperti yang terjadi kemarin. Kini harus aku lewati langkah demi langkah yang membalut luka lagi yang kau tahan hingga kini. Habis sudah nafasku menyebut namamu. Oh, takkan hilang cintaku padamu. Takkan hilang walau kau waktuku mencintaimu. Dari kejauhan tergambar cerita tentang kita, terpisah jarak dan waktu. Ingin ku ungkapkan rindu lewat kata indah, tak cukup untuk dirimu, sebab kau terlalu indah. Dari sekedar kata, dunia berhenti sejenak menikmati indahmu. Dan apabila tak bersamamu, ku pastikan ku jalani dunia tak seindah kemarin. Sederhana, tertawamu sudah cukup lengkapi sempurnanya hidup bersamamu. Jika hariku lalui tanpa hawamu, percuma senyumku dengan dia. Dan apabila tak bersamamu, ku pastikan ku jalani dunia tak seindah kemarin. Sederhana, tertawamu sudah cukup lengkap.
Okay, we are still waiting for Negative House. First speaker from Negative House.
Oh, wait a minute. Still goes to the toilet.
Okay. Okay, first speaker Negative House already here. So welcome back our adjudicators. It's been a tough decision for our adjudicators, but this is competition and we need to decide which team deserves to go grand final. Okay, we would like to invite Mr. Rahmat to deliver the comment. Mr. Rahmat, time and media are yours.
Thank you. Okay. it's hard to me to say about the debates today. Okay, but sorry to say, today's debate for me still did not leave my expectation. It's more or less like watching six people playing bowling instead of two teams playing volleyball. I think all of you know what I mean. Okay, so some one team, one people send some arguments, but it's not handled by another team. Just keeping out to send again to say again another argument, like something like that. Okay, that's for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rahmat. And do you want to announce your best speaker, your version?
Best speaker from my person is negative third speaker.
Wow. Negative third speaker. Okay, thank you and congratulations for negative third speaker. And next, we would like to hear from Mr. Angga. Mr. Angga, the media is yours.
Okay, thank you. I have a different opinion with Rahmat. Yeah. I really enjoyed this session. This is much better from the last session of debates. And I would like to congratulate all of you. Your performance are great, and you have a very good preparation, even though that there are no, in my opinion, the affirmative house is not bring enough urgency of your opinion, while the negative house did not answer some question of the affirmative house, especially when affirmative house emphasizing the cost of the politics. I don't think I heard the answer from the negative house, but in general, I really enjoyed this session. I would like to read a poem for all of the houses. First, for the puppies, from the Papi's Angel. The night and stars that twinkle, a symphony of light that delightful. To all the supporters of Papi's Angel, don't you know that you're all wonderful? And the second poem. Your steps are silent as you catch the moment, a lone silhouette from summer to fall. And for you, the house of Catwoman wish to see you in the final. Thank you. And the best speaker, in my opinion, is the third speaker from the affirmative house. Thank you.
Wow, congratulations, the third speaker from affirmative house. Thank you, Mr. Angga. Okay, next, we would like to hear from Mr. Sarman Palipadang. Mr. Sarman, the time is yours.
Hello. Oh, I'm back. Sorry for the connection. For the first of all, congratulations, guys. You already done your debate very well. But to me, this position is like kind of hard because I know some of you don't like talking about politics. But this debate must going on. So yeah, maybe Mr. Rahmat already explained to you. It is like a bowling. It's not like debate because I don't know. Maybe some of you don't like politics, but I think I have to things here, because this is semi-final, I think time management issues should be not here in this debate again. But both of the team, your time management is not really well this evening. And the second is like some of you mentioned about so many the data and also so many survey, but you didn't mention about who conduct the survey and when the survey published. So if you provide this data, I think it's easy for you to convince us, because this debate is about convincing the judges of the adjudicator. So but I think you're doing great this evening, guys. So congratulations, and yeah, welcome to Jakarta for the grand final. So the best speaker in this debate, I will choose the third speaker from Affirmative. So congratulations and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Back to you, Saida.
Yay! Once again, congratulations for third speaker from Affirmative House. Okay. Closer to announcement, but before that, let's hear a comment from Mrs. Ayat. Mrs. Ayat, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mbak Shaida. Actually, I have no additional comment. All of it's have been provided by all the other adjudicators, but a little bit for additional from me that that we have seen the nice performance from both of the teams. It really show that it also illustrated the growth and learning progress of both teams from the first session until tonight, until this evening. But several feedback that I want to say that first is, as Pak Rahmat say, that this is not just only a discussion between 6 individuals. We know that all of us in each teams must have one goals or one specific things to achieve, and all of speakers on each teams must be contributing to the same case, not to different ones. And we need more alignment between one and another speaker in each teams. And the second is, yeah, I really impressed with the debate, but I need more little touch in data and statistics to make your argument or opinion more stronger than the other one or the other teams. That data or statistics it's different with some teams or some speakers do the arguments with the several best or regulations to be the reason, but I think that it is not enough for convincing the audience or the adjudicators to make or to put choice into your teams. We need more data, we need more statistics to be to make your argument stronger than the other team. And I think that's enough from me, and I will choose. I have a different choice, especially for the speakers. I choose the first speaker from Affirmative House. Thank you very much.
Wow, congratulations for first speaker from Affirmative House. Wow, getting closer to the winner. So last but not least, we will hear a comment from our educators, Mrs. Dena. Mrs. Dena to also announce our winners for today's sessions. So, Mrs. Dena, the time is yours.
Thank you, Shaida. Okay, both team has won the hearts of our ages. So this is a split decisions. I need to emphasize this just to show you that both team have strengths and weaknesses. So both of you have done a really good job in elaborating facts, researching as you should have. However, both team, whoever wins, okay, both of you will have another debate on Monday and on Thursday for the grand finalists. So tonight is not the end of your debate. For your next debate, please increase more preparations on counter arguments. So both teams need to have more research, need to have more data, and to look at those data. Anticipate what your opponents will say and whether the data or the arguments given by your opponents or the evidence or data they have lack credibility or are credible enough, and you have to show them in this debate. That's why Pak Sarman, Pak Rahmat said that this is like 6 people arguing, not 2 teams arguing, because we see tonight's debate lack cohesion. So for your next debate, please please research more and prepare for anticipate counter arguments. However, as other judges have said, different judges have different favorite speakers. It means that all 6 of you have done a really good job. So you have to be really proud of yourself. Both third speakers try to listen what your opponent said and trying to give counter arguments. And both first speakers have done a good job in delivering definitions and directions of the debate. And second speakers have tried to build your arguments, have done a really good job in your case building your house. So that was really good. So I'm not going to give more technical details. I would like to announce that the winner of this debate is by split decision. Remember, it is split decision. So whoever loses this debate, meaning you still have done a really good job, because some judges choose you as the winner. By split decision, I would like to announce the winner of this debate is the affirmative side of the house. So congratulations, Papi's Angels. And that women will see you on Monday.
Congratulations, Papi's Angels.
Congratulations, welcome to Jakarta.
Okay, congratulations to the winning team. Once again, a round of applause for the winner. Congratulations for making it into the grand final. Okay, prepare yourself because the grand final will be held offline at BPJS Kesehatan headquarters in Jakarta. Okay, more detail will be announced soon on Telegram and through official letter from corporate university. Okay, we are highly appreciated for the other team that show us incredible performance. You may not win today, but you have won this competition in our heart. Okay, before I close this session, let me give a pantun. Okay, please help me for cakep. If it's only for stylish, why did someone cut off tree?
Cakep.
Feel the English? Thank you for joining INDC 2003. Thank you everyone for joining our today's match. Thank you for our educators, teams, key team's counselor, and our supporter. I'm Shaida. See you in the final. See you in the real world. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Coach Vita.
Well